Pope Francis met with nearly 100 male and female inmates and 10 family members on Sunday morning at Philadelphia's Coram Fromhold Correctional Facility. The message this visit sends delights Father Paul Morrissey, who served for nearly 10 years as a chaplain at the prison.
Invite to repentance the Christ in this person. Murderer, rapist, or thief. That's where this Pope is at. And I think that's why people grasp peace from another dimension.
Father Paul says it doesn't matter to this Pope what the individuals he met with did to end up there. As it happens, most of them are awaiting trial.
This Pope seems to love individual human beings. He even says to the bishops, stop overdoing the teaching of doctrine, which always is coming at people like this. Look at them like an individual person.
From Father Paul's perspective, how is Pope Francis changing the Catholic Church?
You can see the little prayer here says, remember and pray for healing, forgiveness, and peace.
Father Paul thinks Pope Francis is, for one thing, saying the Church needs to refocus itself on the plight of the poor.
I want to go to these places where people feel pain. Well, they feel pain up there. Guess what? The majority of those people haven't even gone to trial yet. We don't even know whether they're guilty yet. They're so poor they can't afford bail. Wealthy people get out.
Father Paul also thinks, and he knows this is provocative, Pope Francis
is also there to receive forgiveness in some ways for the Church.
What do you mean?
He's saying, I'm a sinner. I've been forgiven by God.
But he hasn't murdered anyone, as far as we are aware.
We don't know. Argentina's a rough place.
In all seriousness, Father Paul thinks the Pope is seeking forgiveness for the sexual abuse and other scandals that have plagued the Catholic Church. And the Church needs to offer forgiveness if it's to receive forgiveness. On Sunday, mentioning the symbolism of water,
Let us look to Jesus, who washes our feet.
Pope Francis said all of us need to be cleansed and washed.
He's talking this language that we need desperately in our world.
He's also using the language of reform, advocating for the abolition of the death penalty.
In other places he said, and I believe this too, that life without parole is just a different kind of death sentence.
And the Pope's calling for better treatment of the incarcerated, like in July when he visited Bolivia's largest prison, an overcrowded and violent place. There, he urged prison officials and guards to rehabilitate prisoners, not humiliate them, and put aside the mentality that divides them into good and bad. Father Paul says his fellow priests have been reluctant to speak out and advocate for prisoners. It's the main theme of a novel he wrote about a prison priest called The Black Wall of Silence.
Do you feel more emboldened to speak your mind, or have you always been talking like this?
More so with this man. Oh, more so.